people.
Hello. We need to share this.
Yeah, we do.
I am Gim. Share the podcast to the social media. Should have found a banana shape.
There we go.
Ah,
You
we
can't
shared.
say it properly in there, can you? There we go. There it is.
There it is. Pineapple cut.
Excellent. Yeah, we've got two people on views. Hello. Hello.
This is what you let when you. What happens when you let the gimp with tech? There we go, sweetheart. See it now? Off you go. You share it.
So, what have we learned? Websites in helmets.
Should have brought a pack of crayons for motivation.
I hope he's wearing that for the duration.
Probably not.
Possibly.
It depends. Has he worked out with put glue on the chin strap?
Probably not. We'll find out when he tries to take it off later.
More than likely. So while our this is sharing on the social media, welcome to Volume 2.
Volume 3.
Is it 3?
It is.
Have we done this 3 times?
Yep, this is episode 3.
See, I've put the wrong title on the podcast then. Oh no, because the first one got deleted because of issues. So technically it is 2. This is your management team. Hi. Doing our podcasting. We are aware for the patrons watching that your MP3 download of the first one isn't up yet. Technical issues. We are getting it sorted. You will be able to download it soon.
I've got an itchy nose now.
Thanks, Amy.
Yeah.
It's not an easy job,
It's
but
not.
we've managed so far.
And we have got quite a lovely list of questions.
Yes.
We do.
And talking points.
We do.
What was the first one? Flags. Do you want to tell people about your flag?
Andy Lawrence, you're not as funny as you think you are. We have flags.
Do you want to tell them about the flag? This might be dangerous.
This one.
Yes, tell them
This
about
is the saltire, the flag of St Andrew, the white cross of St Andrew. It is the Scottish flag.
Is that the end of Gordon with flags for today? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done that one.
Hey.
Next.
What stories of stuff did we bring back from IMCF Scotland?
What stories what didn't we bring back from IMCF Scotland?
Oh, that's a good question.
It was a very
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, here we go. I want to see him do this.
Yeah, me too. I say if he doesn't manage it, we just shove it through one of the eye holes.
Yeah. You know in Futurama where the doctor eats stuff. And
Yeah.
like, you've got banana on your helmet.
So in answer to Bill's question, our standpoint on bananas, they're good.
Yeah.
Like bananas. Who hurt bananas?
Um,
This is something that infected us from Australia.
it,
Yeah.
it did.
It did.
It was very good fun though.
It was a lot of fun.
It was.
Mm.
But yeah, IMCF. What happened? IMCF was great fun. Gordon has boated Zoidberg. Yes.
Yes, he is.
That's yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No?
No.
No, see it?
No.
No.
No. So, what story do we come back from?
Well,
Many.
Many
Lots.
stories.
We learned Shetlanders can control their nerve endings.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
we learned exactly how many fingers it takes to... That's another story.
Mm-hmm. We
yeah,
learned
there's
child
banana in
games
my
that-
helmet now.
We learned child games that children can't play
I came back to
Yeah,
this.
from Denmark.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, came back to this, learned Danish wrestling, Danish twister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one that
Danish
Uh,
Twister
cannot
is
play.
not for children.
Yeah, that was a lot of
At
fun.
all.
But-
It was very good fun.
I suppose
Mm.
we should probably go to the official bit first.
We should.
So
Go on
what happened at IMCF was genuinely this year incredible. There were 500 odd fighters from 31 countries.
I believe that's
Meant to be
correct.
32, but sadly Mexico couldn't make it. There was meant to be fighters from Portugal.
Actually, Mexico did make
There
it,
was-
but
Portugal
Portugal
was
was
But
late.
couldn't fight. Yeah,
Couldn't fight.
Portugal was there, but thanks to the unique way that the British Airways luggage handling system works, he didn't have any armour.
Nope, he
No.
had to borrow armour from. He stayed with the Irish.
Yeah.
He borrowed armour from the French
It was
And Irish.
It was
and
amazing.
Irish. Oh,
This
yeah,
is an
the
international
team-
competition
Yeah.
that you want to win at, but
Yeah.
everybody wanted the best opportunity
Mm-hmm.
for everybody to showcase to fight. So
Yeah.
the camaraderie was amazing.
It
It
was.
really was. As soon as we, because it was us that ended up having to deal with it.
Hmm.
As soon
Yeah.
as we spoke to Brendan, captain of the Irish
Yeah.
team,
Yeah.
and
Brendan.
said, "We need help."
Yeah, it was kind of a case, bless him.
He went, I know. Jesus.
It was kind of a case of me and Sadie were looking at this going, there's clearly a problem with armour. We are probably not the best qualified people.
What
to...
do we do?
Oh no, we've got a sheet with all the team captains' mobile
Yes.
numbers on.
And this is the one that was helpful earlier.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. I mean, we'll go through what I've got noted down, which was a nightmare, because actually one of the things that IMCF and Battle of the Nations are generally really bad at doing at the event is publishing the results anywhere, so that you can see them after the event. These have come straight off their page. So the ladies 3v3s, which were absolutely incredible.
They
Like, some of those
were
girls
awesome.
are bloody
Absolutely.
terrifying. Bronze medal went to Finland, which we were very happy about.
Yeah,
We liked
that
the
was
thing.
good.
Silver medal went to Ukraine,
They were.
and they were scary,
They
especially
really
the
were.
problems that Ukraine had getting there.
Yeah.
And the
I
gold
see.
medal went to everybody's favourite national anthem, which was Team Quebec.
It's the best national anthem.
They got to
national
choose it. They
anthem
picked a
ever.
funky national anthem. I love it. It's great.
So it was one of those where it came on and everyone just
started
danced.
dancing.
Yeah, and then the singles, the only one I could find results for, sorry guys, was Sword and Shield. But female was kind of a more or less the same as the 3v3s, except bronze medal went to Poland, silver medal went to Ukraine,
Mhm.
and the gold medal went to the Quebecois, and that was an incredible fight.
They-
Go
yeah,
back,
it
watch it on
they
their live
really
stream.
were
My God,
incredible
it was
fighters.
amazing. It was so good. We'll stick with Sword and Shield singles. Male, France, bronze.
Yep.
Silver, Poland,
Mhm.
and gold, Ukraine. And again, that was a wicked fight. But
Amazing
Ewan
fights.
was nearly there. Team
Yeah,
Scotland.
he did
was
so
nearly there.
well.
Team Scotland hit top 8 in Sword and Shield. I think he
Yeah,
got
he really did.
semis to knockout. I think he got the semis, and then fought Ukraine.
Yeah.
So to lose the winners, no.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and it was it was a hard fight.
It was a heck of a fight, actually. It was amazing.
Then what do we have? Then we'll go up in size. Men's 5v5s, because we don't do ladies 5v5s. Group fights. Where were we? Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Bronze medal went to Team America. Yeah.
They really
Um,
don't like it when you make
they
that
really
comparison.
don't.
They
Sorry,
really
Andre.
I'm just waiting for Guinness to pop up.
I
I'm going,
know.
I will hit you again.
I don't care. I'm looking forward to seeing Guinness next year. That'll be fun. Silver medal went to La France, and the gold medal went to Ukraine, which is going to be scary next year.
Yeah.
And then
all
the
well
tens.
deserved, though. They were all
Oh,
yeah,
great
yeah,
fights.
all
Yeah.
amazing fights. And then the 10v10s, the mass fights. I couldn't find the 16s results anywhere, but I believe it was Team USA took gold.
I believe so.
The 10s, Scotland did really well again. Top 8 in that. Top 8 in the 5s as
I
well.
think that's my favourite meme
Um,
of the event I've seen so far as well.
What's that?
It's the when the
The
Americans
axes
when
against Sven.
when the Americans found out the Scottish had iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sven is over the list, like hanging on to the list, being like beating up one guy, and there are like 4 American halberds going for him. It's brutal. Yeah. So finals and medals for that. Bronze medal went to Team Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Australia. Yeah, Australia. That's where Bill picked up his injury.
Yes.
Which actually for me turned out to be really fortuitous
'Cause
because
you
it meant I
had
could
his
borrow his
helmet.
helmet for the mass fights. But yeah, Aussie, got bronze, silver medal. Yeah.
No, Daniel was
Honestly.
coming.
Yeah. Silver medal, Ventals the Germans. Yeah.
You
Which
weren't sat in the stand.
Is
Oh.
possibly
with
the
the
most
group that
lasting
couldn't
thing.
Stop.
Oh, and
saying
no,
it
that was one of the
on
team
her.
captains. That will stay with me for a very long time
Yeah.
after IMCF. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just and Battle of the Nations, bless them. But yeah, Team Germany got silver medal, and then gold medal went to Montjas Saint Denis, Team France. And I didn't see any of those fights. I didn't get to watch any of the tens apart from Scotland's ones because I was running around like an idiot trying to sort everybody out. I didn't see any of those. I am yet to watch them. I haven't watched them back on the live stream. I know I really should. But yeah, that's the official stuff. Sort of the results for anyone that hasn't already seen them or didn't manage to catch the closing ceremony. And then it was announced that next year's IMCF is going to be at the historic Kiev Park in Ukraine.
I need a passport. Yay!
You really do.
If you haven't already seen the venue, I'll stick a link.
Oh, it's amazing.
In
I'll stick a link in the comments now.
Yeah.
I'll find it and stick a link in there because it looks incredible. They shoot
It looks
trebuchets
stunning.
and do mass pitch battles. So I'm now on a mission to qualify for next year.
Don't get me wrong, Score was stunning.
Oh, it was beautiful,
Yeah.
but not
Oh, it
historic.
was,
I'm going to
but-
disappear off screen to do this.
But the venue for next year is
Is-
spectacular.
It really is.
It's huge, isn't it? They've rebuilt the city.
It's massive.
It's a scale replica of medieval Kiev, including the walls and everything, and I cannot find it.
It's just that this shed as a facility to run it from.
Never
is
mind.
Huge.
I'll tell you what, I'll do one better than a link to the place. I'll just share this picture in the comments, because this is one of the main lists that we're going to be using for the fighting.
Because they have everything is already built. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
It's being used all the time.
From
So they
an
have
event management point of
Okay,
view,
so
it's
easy.
like
really
we have
easy.
everything.
Oh, it's going to be.
Everyone got the Ukraine.
It's
Yeah.
going to be.
amazing.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to be absolutely.
And of course,
incredible.
Ukraine big on the youth development side.
They really
of
are
IMCF
as well.
So
Huh.
there could be some really interesting
young fighters.
young
around
fighters
as well.
coming through. I mean, the Ukrainian team are huge. They're
Yeah,
heroes.
they are, and they're really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So it'll be very interesting.
It will be interesting.
There
I
you go.
really can't wait.
It's too long, probably. Yeah, it's too long. I'll
Find
put a
one
link in.
link.
I'll put a link in the
In the description, in the whatever that
Here,
box is
somewhere.
below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put a link in
On
there.
YouTube, yeah.
If not,
That'll
you can look it up. It's Kopachif Village, or Kiev Historic Park, and it looks like it's going to be amazing.
It does.
It's also only about 105 k's south of Chernobyl.
Yeah,
Mm.
it is.
Yes,
That's a heck of a road trip, though.
it is.
Yeah, but by that time we'll have eaten
We're
enough
most of the way
bananas that
there.
will all be radioactive anyway. So, but yeah, so yeah, roll
And we are
on.
kind of halfway there by that point.
Yeah, we really are, yeah.
Yeah, we're damn close. And to be fair, you know, it would be some great team media advertising to be out there in armour and go to Pripyat.
Yeah.
Plus, it's somewhere I've always wanted to go. So that might have to
Any
happen.
excuse.
Yeah. So yeah, that is more or less what we done learned from IMCF. Pretty much everything else that we want to tell you about,
We can't.
We can't.
can't.
We did learn some really fun swear words in other languages.
Oh, we did, yeah.
Fart dancer.
Fart dance,
Which we
by
can't
far
Yeah,
best pronounce
yeah,
in Danish,
yeah,
yeah.
but it translates to fart
We
dancer.
learned a
is
lot.
the
We
best.
learned a lot of
Yeah.
things. This happened.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
certainly did.
The Liquid Cultural Exchange. There were games played there that can never be repeated in
No,
public.
No.
Certainly not the theme song for
No.
the Icy Hands Challenge.
No.
It begins with the word one finger,
Nope,
and that's
no.
all I'm allowed to say. At the risk of demonetisation of
We haven't
me.
got monetization.
No, no, of
eventually.
me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting. We made some incredible friends all over
We
the
did.
globe. We have invites to travel literally everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
Australia,
South Africa.
New Zealand,
Casey.
South Africa. Yeah, we
Yeah.
want to go see the South Africans. They're great. Yeah,
You
right.
don't have an invite. We have. An
We
invite.
have.
I do actually. I
That's
do.
fine,
I
you
do
can
from James
go.
because
Okay.
I was helping him hit people in the list. Thailand.
Yeah.
To go and see
Oh.
Brian Punarache.
He's got a school. and
Brian's
everything
amazing.
set
Yeah,
up
I think he's
Yeah.
building a school, which looks incredible. Where else have we got? Finland. Finland. Sweden. Oh,
Sweden.
oh my God! So many Swedes. Don't ever drink with the Swedes.
Do drink with the
Do
Swedes.
drink with the Swedes.
do
It's
it.
really
Don't
good
try and
fun.
be last man standing with Daniel from the
We
Swedes.
were left
like
in
those.
charge of the fire one night.
Yep.
We were basically went, can you guys just
Oh, there
make
you
sure
go,
everyone gets to
There you
bed?
go. There you go. Look,
and
look, look,
nothing's-
look.
Oh.
Hello from the said South African invite.
Hey!
It's honestly, it was incredible to meet so many people
It
just
really
brought
was.
together by this love of beating the living head out of each other.
Yeah.
And it is very much it's an aggressive sport. I don't think anyone can argue with that.
No.
But apart from, I won't say it on the podcast actually,
Yeah.
but apart from a couple of politics between teams and personalities, everyone gets on really well.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
Really
Yeah,
well.
fantastic.
It's lovely. It's so nice.
They're really
And
supportive as well.
Everybody
because-
wants to help
yeah,
everybody out.
Yeah.
You know, and especially like you look at the likes of Laurent. You know,
Yeah.
um,
We all love
the man of stone competed in every single discipline every day.
Yeah.
He fought in 5s, 10s, 16s, long sword, sword and shield, polearm, and all the old battles every day. And I'm pretty sure if he'd put a dress on and they'd have let him, he would have fought in the 3v3s as well. He's
Probably.
absolutely mad. Nicest guy in Booher, genuinely.
Also, the
Um,
boxing match between him and
Oh,
Sven.
that was
Yeah,
incredible.
brilliant.
That was
hilarious.
amazing.
Brilliant.
That
Also,
was so good.
you very rarely saw a team that needed help that didn't have him somewhere tagging
Yeah, yeah.
along.
Yeah.
But Laurent's,
Um,
he's an ambassador for the sport. He's a top
Yeah.
guy.
Brilliant.
You know, and
Lovely guy.
I-
Lovely guy. Lovely guy.
Should we put some
He is-
pictures
he
of
is
them
a
on it?
very-
We'll
Yeah,
probably
we
get,
probably
like, more
should. We get more
viewers.
views.
Yeah,
he's
find
a
the
very-
gladiator.
What
He's
do
a
you
very
reckon?
pretty man.
Casey-
He's a very pretty man.
Casey, do you reckon we should put pictures of Laurent?
You're not pimping Laurent out on our public. No, I'm vetoing that. No, we are not
Aw.
pimping Laurent out. He's a nice guy. Leave him alone.
Look him up.
Um, so yeah, there was a lot of
We're in so much trouble next year.
I know.
Yeah.
there was a lot of it. There was a lot of international culture shared.
Culture.
Liam shared quite a bit. It's very much one of those. If you weren't there, you really should have been.
Yeah. And that's about all we can say.
I think Ewan's watching, and on the comments he's saying, you know, it was amazing to be there from a member of the public's perspective
Yeah.
as a spectator. And yeah, all right, we had a few issues with the setup and bits because of the venue, like space in the
Yeah,
in
the
the
actual
grandstands
venue,
and things.
owners
Oh, it was
and
amazing.
organisation, they
Yeah.
were brilliant, but just getting that kind of commercial
yes, we
setup.
did see Laurent's boxing match
Yeah,
against
yes,
Sven.
absolutely.
Just moving that
I
size
saw the
of
damage
sport
on the
venue
list
into
after that
a
boxing match.
historical venue was difficult.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Just the
we
logistics.
spent.
but,
If you've
yeah.
seen what a week that was, May mashup video,
Yeah.
there is a bit in there where we're looking at the lists, and there's Galen down, and we had a battery hand drill. We weren't supposed to be doing as much work on it. There were issues with strengthening and structure, and the battery on the drill ran out. So we had to get a socket set and put it on the end of the drill bit and drill through 4x4 seasoned timber, pressure treated seasoned timber by hand,
Yeah.
like a quarter turn at a time. It was awful. But you know, the lists were done. They
They
held up.
survived.
Everybody got the fight. Everyone that went got the fight.
Quite a few people actually remarked
Um,
the swapping between the list configuration.
Was
That was
really
like watching
smooth.
a Formula One pit stop
Yeah,
by
it
the end
really
of that
was.
week.
Yeah,
By
it
the
was.
end of the weekend.
Team
It was
builders.
so fast. But
You know what? Our last strip out, we did it in 45 seconds to take out the last list.
Yeah.
But we were doing it twice a day every day.
Yeah.
And we got the first day was carnage, like working out where everything needed to go. Then we actually worked out where everything had to be moved to, numbered everything, sorted it all out. You know, it worked. And I think I'm a little biased. Hats off to the build team for that, and to all the support crew, and the medics, and
everyone,
just everybody that was involved. You know, except maybe maybe Dave.
I know it's so much trouble. We're distancing ourselves from the
It's fine. Dave's not on the committee anymore. So, you know,
yeah, he's still bigger than you.
Yeah, he is, and he's been doing Boo-Hut a lot longer than me. But no, I think on the whole, everybody that was there in a work capacity excelled because the event ran brilliantly.
Yeah.
The members of the public loved it.
they did.
Her ladyship loved it.
Oh yeah,
You
she
know,
did. She had so much fun.
The whole the venue looked great, and it just worked. And all the fighters had a great time, more or less.
I think one of
Portugal,
the
had a
unsung
rubbish time.
heroes of the weekend though is the guy who was stood on the roof who had to keep the flag straight.
I know.
Bless him.
I know. He even had to bring in a support at one point because they were flying all over the place, and he had to bring someone in to help him turn the flags back.
Yeah. It was. It was great. It was fantastic. And you know, I know next year's in Ukraine, and I'm aware of the government travel warnings that are in place.
We've actually checked though,
people
and
going.
It's fine.
It's Kiev, man.
It's fine. It's the area it's in is.
If
fine.
you would look and say, as a tourist, I would travel to somewhere like Pripyat or Chernobyl. Kiev is a million times safer. Firstly, because it's not full of radiation. Secondly, it's not that close to the border. And
Hi Ellie.
Thirdly, I've lost track now. But it's a city, and you're going for a sporting event.
Yeah. You're
probably safer doing that than you are going to Russia at the minute for the World Cup.
Yes,
Battle of the Nations maybe in Russia next year. We still haven't had it actually.
Have we not had an official announcement?
So we're waiting to see, but that'll be very interesting because I tell you what, Ukraine are stupidly strong as a team.
Yeah, they are.
And on home
ground
turf, that is going to be a lot of halberds. That is going to be a lot of halberds.
But I think the one thing that came after the announcement was made when you spoke to any of Team Ukraine is how excited they were to be hosting. It was very exciting.
Totally.
It's like, we're going to make this the best one ever.
And you know what? Looking at the venue, it's going to be spectacular. Whatever they do.
Yeah,
if they don't start it by shooting a flaming trebuchet, I'm going to complain. It looks amazing, and I really hope I can get there to fight.
I think we're definitely going.
I'll be borrowing armour if I am there because I want to fight again.
Whatever.
But if I don't qualify, I'll be going as support for Team Scotland again.
Me and Sadie might just go as roving reporters again because that was quite good fun.
Ali, you should just get on board, man. Come along. Ali was one of the hardcore armoury team, dealing with moving so much armour in and out, and on and off everything. It was hard. But yeah, I think if there is an opportunity for you to be there, you need to go because to experience the event like on YouTube or on live stream or anything, it's great. But to actually be there,
it's a whole different
in person.
It's
if you're a fan of the sport, there's nothing better than seeing that sport live. And being that close to I had a different view, obviously, because I was on support, so I was literally on the list, handing things into the list. But
I think the best way to describe that is to actually look at the videos we did. Because, we know how it is to sort of... We watch fights a lot, we watch you guys fight and various other things. We watch the sport. But when you were stood at the side of the list and those hits came in, you can hear it on the video. We just stood there going, oh!
There is one of the videos we lost. It went out live, but it didn't record to play
that.
Live. The one when Josh was fighting on the first day. It probably got took down by YouTube for the language coming out of me and Sadie at this point.
But the live went out for about an hour and a half, and then we lost.
I'm so proud of the guys from Team Scotland. I knew a few of them before, obviously from Rampton's training and stuff. But I think because of the support role that I ended up on, I ended up very sort of in with the team a lot, and we were doing all of the support side, and they took the support boys under their wing as part of the team. And for the parades and everything, it wasn't a question of, oh, well, you're not fighting. It was, get a flag, get in here. You know, you're part of the team. And it was amazing to walk, for me, to walk in as part of the opening procession, just to be part of Team Scotland in the home country for the tea, and in our home country, on our home stage, walking in there and going, the number of people that were coming past and going like, oh, go on boys, you can do it, go on, hey, you know, and it was like, this is really something. And it was amazing. So yeah, I want to go fight. I want to qualify. So Chris, I'm coming for you. It's going to take a while. I need to get the armour bird, but it is incredible. And having anyone that knows me knows I've said over the years I've been a fan of HMB. I have no interest in mass fights. I don't want to do Boo Hurt. I was so wrong. Boo Hurt's amazing. I mean, it hurts.
You guys did very well. You did very well.
Big Ben from Team New Zealand, in the first all came at me, and I looked at him and I went, "Oh, he was dual wielding halberds, dual wielding pole arms." And he was holding them like 2/3 of the way down. And as he came in, one came at me, I caught it on my punch shield. The second one hit me in the head. And I was so busy getting out of the way of the third one coming at me, I didn't notice he'd hit me in the head, apart from to go, that hurt. When I gave Bill his helmet back afterwards, Bill took one look at this helmet and he looked at it and he went, oh, fucking hell, mate. It was a big hit for your first Boo Hurt. I hadn't even noticed the dent. The helmet literally goes up and then goes. And, you know, it was carnage, but it was absolutely amazing. And I would recommend to anybody to give it a go. Get along to a local club. I mean, if you're in England, go to Battle Heritage's website, speak to them. If you're in Scotland, go to the Scottish Night League and find your teams. There's Glasgow, Dundee, Perth, Kinross, Edinburgh, Shetland, Dumbarton, and you can get to trainings and you can try fighting. Try the armour, just get hit in the head. Well, I think. Don't worry, I'm not going halberdier yet. I haven't been eating crayons. I'm okay, but it's mega fun. It's mega fun. I can't imagine doing another competitive sport.
We tell them that's 14 and
like
probably well.
So good. If they make a banana flavoured one, I'll eat it.
You can get scented crayons on them.
Speaking of crayon eating, speaking of crayon eating, Big James Hughes is absolutely
best segue ever.
Determined that he's going to be a polearm fighter, and he's got the build for it for sure.
I do quite like polearm,
and he's got the IQ for it, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
I'm not sure if we like polearm in general, or if we just like Casey's polearm.
I like Casey's polearm.
That's
I really do. I have to say.
But yeah, anyway, so that's IMCF, and as you can tell, we're obviously all very enthused about it, and the people, and the organizer, and everything. It was just amazing.
It was.
So,
next,
moving on. It really is. It's a wicked way. So, as much as I don't want to, because I could literally stay on the goings on of IMCF and talk about it forever, because everybody had a different experience. Everybody saw different things. But you know, every night sitting around the fire with the different guys, and just guys like crazy Polish guys turning up and going, hey, I dropped this. You're like, what's that? Oh, it's like vodka. Okay.
It's like vodka.
I nearly lost my eyesight on night one. It was insane. And Danish meads. And so many different things and so many different cultures, and just the way that everybody helped each other out. It's something that I've really I don't know. I've missed. It was
Yeah.
a real kind of military
Yeah,
martial
fun.
thing, and I've been looking for something like that.
And we have learned it is possible
Which is
to build
cool.
double beds out of here.
We
There's
have
around
the fire
Yeah,
drills around fire.
That's definitely
So, one of the other questions that was asked, he said,
Yes.
desperately trying to control the situation,
Okay.
and it's quite a nice segue because we're talking about how, everyone should go and try IMCF. One of the questions that was asked, I believe, by Jake Holt, except my laptop's about to kill itself because we had a power cut today because of thunderstorms, so all of the software stuff didn't charge up as much as it should have.
We'll do
I
our best with what
believe
we've
it
got.
was Jake Holt that asked. He says, waiting for everything to load. So the production value on this is amazing, isn't it? We'll sort it out in post. Jake said, could we have a discussion on the transferable skills in different combat disciplines? For example, HEMA, HMB, IMCF, etc., and stage combat. So, yeah, we could have a go.
Yeah.
That's really useful.
That's it.
That's the
Tech
power
has
system
died.
gone. But we have then covered all the questions because we've done the
We've
fun
got
with
one
flags,
more. No,
we've
we've
got
got
the
one
bit
more,
with
but-
bananas.
I can remember the next one, so it's fine.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I think
Yes,
realistically, anyone that can fight at a level like something like HMB or IMCF or anything like that, they've got the weapon skill to transfer across to any of the others. Now, the guys that are really good fighters at the top of HMB, in my opinion, are good HEMA fighters as well.
Yes.
So technique
I would say
transfers.
certainly on the one-on-ones,
Yeah.
maybe not so much in go hit, but certainly.
But then they have to be skilled martial artists.
Yeah.
Because look at Benoit.
Oh yeah.
Balls. Look at Benoit. I'm doing it because I know Bambi's watching on live stream, and every time somebody says Benoit, he can't help himself but throw in the Archer thing. So,
Wait, is that every time someone says
it's Benoit? Balls.
Benoit?
Every balls. Yeah, every time.
Okay.
But
Okay.
look at Benoit where he was fighting.
Yeah.
The way he was grappling and taking down, that's all MMA and jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because he's an incredibly skilled fighter on actually it's not, it was the JJ, wasn't it? He was wearing a Gracie for JJ.
I'd had like 3 beers by the time
he was wearing a Gracie for
conversation.
JJ.
I just remember, was
hoodie.
it Liam getting decked for
Yeah.
I feel so bad. I sent Liam into the opening ceremony and the opening show fight because he did the one against BBC 5v5 with a black eye because we were soft sparring
Yes,
with
I
the
do.
I
long swords.
vaguely remember
And I
this.
clocked him
now.
in.
This
I-
is the first
I
day.
clocked him in the face and then we went, without helmets maybe we shouldn't hit each other in the face, so I defaced Team Scotland's pretty boy before he went in. So
Oh.
I got over it pretty quick. But
I'm sure
I
you
think
did as well.
certainly as a fighting perspective, cross training and cross skilling, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
When it goes into stage specifically
Yeah.
or film work, I'm all for it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it is great because there's nothing better than actually understanding what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you understand it, an audience understands it. So I'm all for it, I think, actually. And, there is a skill in learning stage combat, certainly.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you don't want to kill the person
That was-
working with. Well,
that
you
was
might,
the-
but
yeah,
that's
that was the
different.
strangest. That was
Yeah.
the strangest thing for me going into IMCF.
Yeah. Actually hitting them.
Was actually hitting people, because like we do contact sparring,
Yeah.
but not like that. And going in and going, okay, I'm going to hit this guy.
Yeah.
He's not even noticed me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to hit him a lot harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really strange.
What was interesting though is how easily you and James did transfer the skills.
Very
Because
quickly.
we always try and make the combat realistic and base it on historical treaties and base it on
yeah,
right.
for sure.
So for you and James, it was really just a case of we have these skills, we just need to put the extra bit on the end of it.
James
to
had
actually
the
hit them.
experience
Yeah.
of when he was
Yeah.
hitting one of the American guys.
Yeah.
He went, "What have you got in your other hand?" And he went, "Oh, a buckler. I've never done this before." In the middle of the fight, I've never done this before. And he went, "Well, do you want to hit us with the buckler?" "Yeah, go on then." And he gave him a hit, and the guy just looked at him, laughed at him, and went, "No, come on, hit me."
Which,
So-
if
And
you
James
know
isn't
James,
a small man.
James
Yeah.
is not a
He's-
small man, and
Did
we,
he catch
we-
up
yeah,
some
he's-
jokes there?
I didn't. I missed it.
And it was a comment regarding the dagger training and how
Right. Yeah.
transferred. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, certainly for me, and what we do with the stage combat and things, it's really important for me to bring the historical realism to the fighting, because I don't know about anyone else, but I'm sick of watching crap combat on film and TV and display and show. I'm sick of watching reenacty style ting 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 with nothing happening.
And of course we do a lot of stage and live display where there is nowhere to hide. You can't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to go
it
for
just
it.
has to be right.
Well, James and I at Lord of the Rings gig.
That was very good.
We went for each other. I mean,
That
it was
was very
fast.
good.
It was a 50-odd move routine, and we went in very, very fast.
Yeah.
And the reaction from the members of the audience was like, "Oh, these guys aren't reenactors. Okay, right, they're actually hitting each other." But we weren't, because it was stage.
Everyone hates shield tapping. It should be illegal.
The whole hit to a guard. And for me, certainly studying other combat forms. Makes you a better fighter. I now know if somebody gives me a suit of armour, exactly what you can do and the endurance required.
I mean, I think
it's very transferable.
As far as performance goes, you know, in theatre and film, you're quite often expected to take a hit without anything ever connecting. A lot of the time.
Definitely.
And unless you've actually been hit, very difficult to kind of portray.
I mean, I think...
we can demonstrate now if you want.
No, I'm good. I'm
good.
I'm good. No,
Okay.
No, I've been slapped in the face by you. Enough. God, somebody probably a guest next month. But I think I see what Jake's. I think I see what Jake's saying. She. Sorry, I'm reading comments at the same time.
I did a Houdini to our car.
As Ewan just got like, anyway, we'll move on.
Let's move on.
So I think what Jake's asking specifically in relation to, because I know he's been studying Fiore's Dagger Masters and Remedies, how they cross over from a martial sense to an actual stage sense, because in the martial sense, the one that's actually written in the manuscripts, they all end in resistance locks, disarms, and blades in the throat, in the armpit. And designed to break the arm. So if you take First Master into the wrap and bind, as the left hand passes down inside, turns the arm and then forces the shoulder into a resistance lock of your opponent to break their shoulder as you throw them to the floor. If you follow the treatise exactly, you will break someone's arm. If you follow the treatise in training, you will put them in a resistance lock. For stage, we can't do that.
Can't do that, no.
Because if you have to do it 100 times, as we've proved at shows, after doing it 4 or 5 times, stuff hurts. You know, even when you do it right, it hurts. So I think realistically, it's a challenge. It's not impossible, but it means that you have to work and really understand the source material first.
You do.
Hello.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Temporary.
But we should be fine.
As we say, we are very rural, and there has been a lot of thunderstorms today. So the broadband is just decided.
It's been on and off all day.
It's not
thanks to the storms. But yeah, what I was trying to say was that with when you learn a skill, so when you learn the martial discipline, you need to be able to be adaptable with it. So, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but there are a lot of people out there who are very rigid with their fighting. This is how it should be, and this is how it will always be, and you cannot change from that. It's not necessarily a bad thing, that's just how some people are and how they learn.
We've seen that.
But to put that into a performance, you've got to be able to be flexible with it, because you've got to be able to adapt it and change it to the situations.
Sorry guys, we're just readjusting settings.
Again, I think that was probably a lightning strike further up the way, because there's a storm happening
that way.
Okay. So,
if we disappear again, it's probably because we've been...
Sorry, minor technical issues, I blame Thor.
So so you've got to be adaptable and be able to change what you've already learned in order to do it for screen or stage. So that it's both believable but safe all at the same time.
And like any stunties that I work with, they'll say it's safety, 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 and safety. You know, you want to go home in one piece at the end of the day.
because you want to come back the next day and get paid again.
All the fighters are the same.
Living is generally
fighters in HEMA, fighters in HMB. It's safety. You make sure your kit fits. You make sure your weapons are clean. You make sure that there's no sharp stuff because you want to do the best you can, but not actually get.
Yeah.
Which sounds daft in
Injured.
HMB. Not actually hurt anybody. You want to hurt somebody and take them to the floor and win that round, but you don't want a disabling.
No.
Is that even right?
Because you want them to be able to come back and fight tomorrow.
You want to hurt somebody, you don't want to injure them.
Yeah.
And you want to go to the next competition with that person and try again.
In stunt work, for sure, accidents happen, people get hurt. But you don't want to put yourself into that situation by accident. You know, you want to make sure you've done everything you can to stop yourself being in the situation of causing said accident. So if you've got a fight routine to do, you practice the fight routine, you learn it. Then you get to the venue, and as it has happened this week actually with the Lord of the Rings show, that fight area may not be ideal. Columns or low ceilings or
slippy floors.
Really slippy floor, incidentally. But you adapt it on the fly and you go, right, well, we'll not do that bit, but we'll do this bit because at the end of the day, I want to go home without a sword stuck in me. And I think the best way to do that is to have an understanding of how the weapon works at a fundamental level. So I think you can do it at any level, really, can't you? But, you know, if you want to be as safe as you possibly can, you have to understand what you're doing as well as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And with weapons, that means reading the treatises.
It does.
To my mind, I'm going to do one of those sit at the table. Studying the treatises makes you a better stage combatant and change my mind. Because as far as I know, every single HEMA instructor or teacher that I know says the same thing. They're fed up seeing crap combat.
Yeah.
So if we can bring real martial moves to combat, then so much the better. And Fiore's disarms are just beautiful. You can build a routine just on his first 4 masters. Yeah. And they really, really work.
And I was going to say they work in a modern, like,
well, of course they work. They're a 15th century master. Of course they work.
You can bring them into a modern setting.
You don't need somebody coming at you with a main gauche to, like, use them. Like, anybody, like, with a broken bottle, with like, coming at you with a Stanley knife, you can apply those same exactly as they are.
Absolutely. And, again, the way that you do that is by understanding the source material. Because if you don't understand the source material, you'll probably end up stabbing yourself more than...
Yeah, you'll injure yourself more than the other person, probably.
Yeah, and I think the reality of it is you need to understand what you're doing, and you need to understand how you're doing it.
Yeah.
To be able to do it safely and at a level that's believable and good, I guess. Yeah. So there's absolute crossovers and transferable skills in every discipline, but Sunday night in Dundee.
You're ever going to Dundee? Read Fury.
And actually, if you're going for a night out in Dundee, study Fury first, but then also remember that you are actually going back to feudal medieval Scotland. Dundee's a lovely place to visit. I've been for a night out in Dundee. I know exactly what he's talking about. There used to be a nightclub down by like the station, because every time we went up to Barrybudden, like for exercise and stuff with the TA, we would inevitably end up in this damn nightclub because they would send a bus to camp to pick you up. It was desperate. You know Trillions in Newcastle?
Oh, don't diss Trillions.
No, but you know Trillions in Newcastle, where you walk in and your feet sort of stick to the floor and you look at the place and you go, yeah.
Wait,
rough.
you were never in old Trillions?
No, in New Trillion now, right? Then you see the pictures of old Trills and you go, okay, this looks like a really decent rock bar. Same as like the old Sal in Nottingham.
Oh, the old Sal's
Yeah. Now imagine that sort of looking place, but you walk into it, but instead of going, we're in a really cool rock bar, you walk in and go, oh, we're gonna get stabbed. It was that sort of place. It was a really interesting place. But yeah, I think definitely, especially if you're going to Dundee, learn historical manuscripts. There are crossovers in everything,
Absolutely.
and knowing one weapon set. I'm going to start bashing Dundee. We'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think every weapon set as well has interesting things that you'll suddenly realise. We were looking at one of the Fiore pieces.
Having the comment thread, things were beautiful. I'm just going to interrupt you just to
thank you very much.
Just to point that out.
Yeah. Well spotted. If you
We're over 30 now. We miss no compliments from you.
If you get a sort of one of Fiore's masters with Rondel as you go through into one of the instabile positions.
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's one of the. Hey, yeah, brilliant. Okay. I am not reading that comment.
I love the fact Casey's just like, this is happening.
Casey's all over that, actually. All over that. No, we looked at one of the medieval masters, and James Hogg was there, and he practices Bartitsu, and very quickly we looked at him and went, oh my god, this is exactly the same play as in Vignay, in stickwork.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it all crosses over in really weird ways, I think.
It does.
He says, desperately trying to keep everything on track. So, yeah, and the last question we had?
Was from Liz, who's one of our patients, asking about Roland history and Timeless Adventures.
Yeah.
We did do pilots of both of these series, and they have been put on hold. They haven't gone forever, but they have been put on hold because of one reason is purely the cost to produce them to a good level. We do everything on budget as much as we can, but at the minute we don't.
we have a budget.
I have a budget, and you clowns just mess with it. It's kind of. Wait a second. What did this happen? But yes.
Surprise!
But yes, so.
No, Ali, I'm a massive fan of stable work, so we'll leave it at that. If he says he's a true. Anyway.
But yeah, we are going to come back to Timeless Adventures, and we are going to come back to Roland History because they're both such fun to do.
We had a lot of fun doing them.
But
definitely.
At the minute, we don't have a way to specifically monetize them. We need a sort of monetization, advertising, sponsorship.
Yeah.
And we are in the process of doing that. We rely heavily on our Patreons, so thank you to everyone who's a patron. If you would like to support what we do, we will put a link below. Yeah. Also, everyone who buys the t-shirts going to be making some ridiculously funny t-shirts. Yeah. It's really good fun.
They're all our designs. I mean, we're stealing some historical designs, but they're out of copyright, I check.
And put my own spin on them. Everyone who buys them, thank you so much. That was
we really appreciate it.
And people who are literally start watching this live stream, because the more that people, if you like, we know people ask again, if you cannot afford to buy t-shirts and be a sponsor, that's fine. If you share the videos and watch the videos, it means we can attract advertisers. It means we can put money in the company. It means we can do more.
Even just like the guys that are just literally, like Tom today actually, who saw that we were doing the live stream and just went, I'm going to share that so more people see it.
Yeah.
We get the other I suppose the other issue we have with the crossover is to produce something like Roll On History or Timeless Adventures to the level we want to produce it at.
Yeah.
The kit needs to be good. I mean, Timeless Adventures, we're out in the weather. If it rains, the camera has to be waterproof.
We just need a large cocktail budget.
You know,
but yeah.
everything has to be scalable, and we have to go, right, we can work this at this end, and we can work it at this end. We need the kit, we need the locations, we need... It's time as well as money.
Joking aside though, when me and Sadie did that first roll, if you've never seen the live roll for the first roll on history, watch it.
The
because
look on their faces.
We literally, the furthest point we could possibly have rolled, we were driving for like 9 hours.
And you actually ended up in Sunderland, didn't you?
We did.
Not that Sunderland, a Sunderland, you see.
Yes.
Yeah, go find the video. Don't tell them what it is. No, go find the video. Watch the video.
We were driving for 9 hours. I mean, we did stop at a distillery. For a
don't tell them what
we stopped in a car park.
It was a car park, yeah.
Just
watch
a car
the
park.
Go, you, yes, not now,
Go,
but when this finishes, you, go, find the video, watch the video.
But the thing is, it's, you know, when you're travelling couple of 100 miles.
It's a week out of our lives that we can't do any other work, and then there's the cost of
between
the actual...
now, realistically,
Yeah.
between now and September, we don't have a full week where we've got something booked in or some work on or an event or planning or prep or anything like that.
Yeah.
And we don't want to rush the production on it because we want to make sure that the content we're bringing you, apart from these podcasts, which are obviously a bit mad, we want to make sure we're bringing you good content.
If you do like original creative content from us though, you may have noticed we haven't done the horror shows this year. There is something coming around Halloween time. We're not going to say more on that at this point, but there is a event you will be able to buy tickets for and something you will be able to come and see. We're looking at being based in Newcastle and it will be around October time. There will be more announcements on that soon.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be very fun.
It's not actually. It's
Why is Snowcap so damn attractive?
I don't know.
Siki.
I don't know. Was it because he was wearing a kilt all the time?
I think it was the kilt.
Could it be the kilt?
I think it's the
It's
kilt.
got to be the kilt.
I think it's in comparison. He's not actually, but he was hanging around with like lots of fighters that are big, like burly folk, which made him look a lot more.
Which made him look very pretty.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't we briefly change? Didn't we briefly change Snowcap's name to Snowdrop?
Snowdrop.
Yes.
Didn't that happen around the fire one night after drinks?
Yeah, I feel a bit bad for
I'm
him.
not sure if he knows that happened, but it did happen.
He was
He'll
there.
get
He may not remember.
He doesn't remember, but-
I think realistically, I
That was the day.
and
Yes,
so-
it was.
that was the Danes. Don't
That
tell me
was
the Danes
that was
either.
the night we
They're
discovered
dangerous.
fart dancer.
It
was
was
the night we
discovered
discovered
fat
fart
dancer.
Was that the night of Viking Twister?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was after
Danish Twister, much like normal Twister, but played with a knife.
It's every bit as cool as
It
Now
was
that's
the
not
best
in the way of
Twister game
like
ever.
Philadelphia Twister, which the American team tried to show us, which is where it's played with one guy with a knife and three guys with guns that try and beat up the guy with a knife. But
Oh.
yeah, you and I actually turned up and fought, so. No, I think that we learned a huge amount from talking to
I'm not going to read that out, but yeah.
Yeah, we're not reading that one. That's already been covered. No, we're not talking about that. I think we learned a huge amount from the guys for the cultural side of stuff, for doing more with, certainly with Timeless Adventures. And I think the first ones we're doing will probably, I'm really hoping to get one out by September. Because in theory, we can do one up here, and it's just the guys in their Viking kit, which they've all got, and we know what we're doing, and just get out and do a short video for it. But again, what you guys see when we put these videos out is a 15, 20 minute, half-hour edit that goes up online. What if you're not in the industry, what you don't see is the work that goes on behind the scenes to actually make that happen. Like, all the episodes have to be slightly scripted. You know, we can't just
when
go.
did this happen?
That's them. That's
No,
not
for us.
We script
I was going to
nothing.
say,
We
I
can't
don't remember
just-
that bit.
We can't just fire it out because otherwise it goes to absolute carnage. And it has to be rehearsed in a way.
Yeah.
We have to know the route we're taking, kind of, initially, mainly for a safety point.
Safety point of view,
And we need to know, can we light fires? Can we do this? Can we do that? And so we have to recce the venue. We have to do a test area to make sure it's actually applicable. We have to make sure that everyone's got the kit in place. Then we have to film it all. And if you're out walking and remote without getting back to a location, that means carrying multiple memory cards, memory data banks, everything. Then getting back and editing the whole damn thing together, which can take
with your current
days.
system.
Days
Weeks.
and days and days. And then we put the content out there and we go, oh, well, it was a half-hour video. Sorry, guys. You know, it's a difficult one.
See, ours is the opposite. We can script nothing because if you've seen the first roll on history, we literally find out where we're going
on
12
camera.
hours. Yeah, before we have to
We
head off.
have 24 hours to
so
leave.
funny.
basically.
But that means we have to be literally prepared to go anywhere within the UK in the next 12 hours.
It was so funny.
It was, looking back at it.
It was
wasn't
hilarious,
at the time.
actually.
It wasn't just
at
like,
the time.
what the?
It was devastating.
No,
at
it
the
was-
time.
It was fun.
No, it was hilarious. You guys don't know. It was so funny.
We will aim to do another one by the end of the year. We're currently due to me being Fanny and having to have some procedures done, kind of out of action for the next couple of months.
You're having a procedure on your what?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we might be able to do a sort of a shorter version.
We're looking at doing a
mini version.
A mini version. Just
Saving rolls. Yay!
just to keep things going.
I think we should do that. Oh, you know what?
we would love to.
We really. Sorry, if you're not seeing the comments here, we've just been asked, are we going to? I think it's the Tournament of Kings.
This is the island one.
Yeah, the island.
Yeah.
The island tourney.
We would love to.
We'd love
That's in
to.
September, I think.
Again, unfortunately, because
Timing might not be great.
I'm-
for
Might
us
not
on
be
that
great.
one.
I'm hoping that I will be going.
yeah.
September's quite busy for us usually as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I will be going, but I need to do other things. I need to get my armour together basically
You need to
for,
get your
for
armour
next
together.
year, because
Yeah.
my end goal now is to qualify to go and fight on the Scotland team,
Yeah.
and be able to take a 16s team to Ukraine, because I think that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I mean, I'm going to get killed, but
I
a
may
16s
still
team
be
in
kind
Ukraine.
of incapacitated by the end of
Yeah,
September.
I think
so-
the issue is I'd love
Yeah.
to go, because also I'd love to see like and everybody again.
Yeah, catch up with
yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
But a lot of it comes down to where the funding is, so that we can actually make the big tournaments like IMCF on a national stage. And Ireland will be great fun. But oh yeah, we're doing a 16 team's totally happy. I want to qualify for that team though, and I want to beat Chris for longsword, because I really want to fight longsword. Or we just have to put in a couple of people. I don't know if we can do that.
I don't know.
So. Oh, now we've got to try and get. Anyway, we digress. I would love to get to Ireland. There are tournaments
We
all over
can
the
plan
place.
nothing, but we may randomly turn up. I think is what we're
It
saying at this
depends,
point. Yeah.
We could roll Ireland.
We can't.
We could. No, we can't. We really can't.
We can't. We took Ireland off the map because of the
Yeah,
issues we're getting
I'm definitely going to end up getting stuffed up against the lists and jumped on by Ukrainians. I know it's going to happen.
I love the fact that proving how suggestive we are live on YouTube. It's like, come to Ireland, like literally through it. We could go to Ireland.
The fact is, it's
This is how company decisions are made.
but it's a weird family with the
It really
IMCF
is, though.
guys, isn't it?
That's terrifying.
It's a weird sort of messed up family. They go,
It is.
come over and party with the Irish, it'll be fun. And we're like, yeah, actually, it really will, won't it?
really will
And
be.
then, like, South Africa go, oh, we're going. And like, well, if they're turning
if
up,
they're
we
going,
kind of
we
ought to
need
make an
to.
effort. It's
It
literally
kind
only
of
a walk
like
away.
feels like you're just not trying if South Africa are getting there.
You know,
Yeah.
you know when it's really bad? When you talk to a guy from Thailand who has put his life savings into getting to a tournament,
know.
and you're complaining about having to drive up from Northern England going, it's costing a bit of money. And the guy turns around and goes, yeah, it's cost me like £5,000 to be here to fight. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Right, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully I'll make it to Ireland, but I've got to get armour. I've got my lid now, but that needs repaired. I need to get a new face
You've done
cage
quite
for
a
under
fairly
it.
good job. on
Yeah,
it,
but
so
I can't. I
don't
need a
think
new
it's
face cage underneath it because it
If you
currently
just say
hits
you
me in
need
the
to be
face.
fixed.
No, if I don't replace the cage, I'll need a new face. So.
like take the page.
Oh yeah, man, Japan. Oh, China. Oh.
Oh, China.
No spoilers, no spoilers. Go watch it. Go and find the
go
video.
watch it.
Watch China's fight. It was incredible.
Yeah.
China,
firm
Luxembourg. Watch
crowd
it.
favourites.
Yeah.
China, Luxembourg again. Then you'll see Laurent,
amazing.
nicest guy in
Yeah.
Blue. Like absolutely brilliant fight. Those
Yes,
they were incredible. They were absolutely amazing. So
We digress.
yeah, we would love to get to Ireland.
We would.
But as is with so many things, we have so many. Ludlow, I'm looking at.
Yeah,
We have so many things that we're trying to do, and I'm off away working freelance up and down the country, instructing and things like that. So, trying to be everywhere we want to be, and still make money.
We kind of need to eat.
It's nigh on impossible.
And not
with
get
the shows booked in, crossover, and it's difficult to make everything we want to make.
Yeah.
But we will certainly try.
We will.
We will.
And if you've been watching this or you stumble across onto this and you go, what the hell is HMB? What the hell is IMCF? You know, drop us a message, because we can put you in touch with people to go and do it. Even if you're somewhere as daft as South Africa. We can find people and put you in touch with incredible fighters, incredible people, and they will literally welcome you with open arms and then punch you in the head.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great. Equally, if you think that might be a bit too much hardcore for you, come speak to us directly, and we can teach you. Yeah, I know. The new secretary of the SKL's watching the feed, and he's so modest about it as well. But yeah, if you think maybe the contact stuff isn't for you, we can teach you to do the stage combat stuff. In fact, our next training course is the back end of July. The 27th, 28th, or the 28th, 29th. Information's on our Facebook page, and booking is live on the website.
It is live on the website now.
Come and join us.
So yeah, come and have a bash.
Yeah.
Literally.
Full weekend, so it's a lot of fun.
Full weekend. It's going to be full on. It's going to be hard work. But again, if you're a Boo-Hurt fighter or a HEMA fighter and you want to see what stage combat's about, come along, give it a bash. If you haven't got a clue and you just think, well, maybe it'll be a laugh, come along, give it a bash. I think everyone should do some form of like dramatic violence or martial discipline or fighting or something.
Dramatic violence.
Well, yeah, dramatic violence. It could be anything from like guns to swords to blowing things up.
Everyone needs dramatic violence.
Dramatic violence. You need some in your life.
This is why he's not allowed to write any of the press releases for like the Kids Arts Awards.
I've used dramatic violence in events loads, because it is.
When we're not there,
yeah.
you'll notice.
But yeah, give us
yes,
a
it's the
shout.
28th and 29th of July.
Yeah. If you see. If it sounds good as well, doesn't it? The Master of Dramatic Violence.
Plus the blonde is always the drama queen.
Yeah.
Their first album was amazing.
We know that first
but again.
Right, we want a dramatic violence t-shirt, Gordon.
I can do that.
Can we have a dramatic violence t-shirt?
I can do that. I can make a dramatic violence. I can make a dramatic violence t-shirt. Don't stab your friends or something like that. We can literally, with the contact network we have now, as individuals and as a company, we can put you in touch with people that can teach you more or less whatever you want to do if it involves medieval weaponry. Even siege engines, because we did meet a lovely lass down at the Leeds Joust. She was about 85, so cool. German lass. Sat on the medieval siege weapons stall, and she went. We were looking at these Viking crossbows that they had, but they had crossbows through the ages. So we were looking at this Viking one, and she went, "Oh yeah, this one is about 40 pounds draw, and it steps on here, and da da da." And then she went, "Okay, then we have this one, bit bigger, And I'm just looking at the back. There's this massive thing with a steel and brass historical recreation. Windlass pulley system on the back of it, and she's got all the German ones out that have got the spiral through it, and she's talking about all the loading and da da da. We get onto this one, and she looks and she goes, "So, what do you think the poundage on this one is?" And I looked and I went, "I don't know, £500-600." She went, "No." What? Okay, I'll take a stab if it's up on that. About 850. She went, "Yeah, we think about 850. We shot it one time with a carcass with chain on, and
they put armour on a pig.
The bolt went straight through the plate. So he was wearing Milanese armour, so plate over chain, over gambeson, over pig carcass with everything still inside it, and then gambeson under chain, under plate against railway sleepers." Not flat against it, but hanging railway sleepers. The bolt went clean through.
And
everything and embedded into the railway sleeper far enough. It took them half an hour to cut it out with axes.
Nice.
It's got like a.
And that wasn't from a short range either.
It's got like a stirrup bump on the front of the crossbow. It's like this, and it rests. It actually sits on the profile and rests on the wall, because there is so much forward momentum when the bolt is shot, that if you're holding it, it rips it out your hands to try and follow the bolt. So it was incredible. But there's a genuine medieval siege company that can teach you everything, you know, and they shoot trebuchets into the lake at castles and occasionally into boathouses at museums.
That wasn't them though.
It
That
was.
wasn't.
It was. It was. It was really cool. They shot a red hot shot through the roof of a genuine 18th century thatched building at the museum at Weald.
I don't think they're going to let you take a trebuchet into the list.
No. He didn't say that. He said he wants a trebuchet to make a dramatic entrance into the list. He wants to be fired from the trebuchet.
You know, have you seen the video?
We'll do that for you. That's not a problem.
Have you seen the video of Kiev Historic Park?
Yes.
They have 2 full-size trebuchets. This is happening, man.
Next year.
Next
year, we will fire you into those
I know
lists.
a guy in the
Get rid of big net, it'll be fine. We can use the Ukraine flag.
Wait.
Yes!
I know a guy in the Czech Republic that hires out airbags. Stunt airbags.
Of course you do.
We could actually make this happen.
Of course you do.
We could genuinely make. You might die, but like, it's a small price to pay for this. I mean, literally, it's going to be summer in Ukraine anyway. So if we're firing Scotsmen at this point, we're going to be firing flaming Scotsmen because it's going to be summer in the Ukraine. So we'll be launching flaming Scotsmen
How
into
can we
the
get
list.
the IMCF on the front page of every newspaper in the world?
Yeah.
All you have to do is scream freedom the whole way in, and it'll redress all of Mel Gibson's transgressions in that bloody film. That would be amazing. I'm aware this is sort of descending into anarchy.
He says he's dying looking like a badass. That depends on whether he wears his kilt true or not.
Fire him into the all-on-all fight.
That's valid. That is very valid.
That seems like cheating, Bambi. Firing him into the all-the-alls. And also, technically, we can't fire him into any fights because projectile weapons are banned.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fairly sure launching a Scotsman out of a trebuchet classes as a projectile weapon. Sorry, not wanting to be the guy that pulls the rulebook out.
I suppose it depends
But
on
also,
which
if
Scot we put in there.
But if he's wearing his kilt properly, you know how for the tip of a weapon has to be the right size to be safety checked. I don't think so it's not going to pass safety check.
You realise Ali, who was on this thread, has now just resigned. He's like, nope. Nope.
You know, it's just going to take one look. You know what? The thing is, I bet there'll be. Yes, Ali, the size at the end of your thumb, roughly. Remember the marshalling tool. This is another thing with IMCF. The safety regs are really high. The marshals are amazing. But you can actually buy the weapons check tool. So I'm actually surprised that nobody at IMCF did that with the guys wearing kilts. Actually went around and weapons check them, because that would have been really funny. Something to do for next year, maybe. I don't know. Although Team Scotland's national dress is now changing to Bermuda shorts, but that's another story.
That's another story.
Very good.
So yeah, I think we've covered all the questions that we were asked.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've spent a huge amount of time talking about the IMCF.
Because it was really good fun.
Remembering, that is a World Cup of international sports happening in our country, or you know, in the UK certainly, and the fact that people weren't there that had said, "Oh, I'd love to go, I'd love to go, I'd love to go," you missed out.
Oh, big stuff.
And we're probably not going to get IMCF or Battle of the Nations back again for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
At least.
Minimum.
Yeah.
And for the guys that were fans, that's probably the cheapest and closest event you're ever going to get.
Yeah.
So, you know, try and get Kiev, because it'll be amazing. And it makes a difference in the lists as a fighter if the audience are shouting and screaming. You don't really notice it, I don't think. But I haven't done any of the team fights, but I definitely noticed there were people cheering and yelling. And in one occasion, pointing at something that probably wasn't at me, but pointing at something, I turned around and saw this American running towards me and just went, no, and ran away. They're a lot bigger than me.
Oh,
but
it's when
it was a world championships.
Guinness is not bigger than you.
Guinness isn't. Why do you think I fought Guinness? Why do you think I fought Guinness? I looked at her and went, she's tiny. I'm having her. But actually, it wasn't that. I saw an American with a polearm against the lists, not paying attention, and I went, I'm going to punch that. And I ran over and hit it because it was an object in armour, At the time, I thought it was a bloke, so I hit him as hard as I possibly could, and I heard out from under the helmet, "Ah, fuck!" I went, that's not a bloke's voice. And then she looked up at me, and I went, "Oh,
I have made an
crap!
error. You have made an
I've
error.
just punched like a 5'2" angry American lass. This is bad. She's got a big axe. She hit me a couple of times, and as we were literally battling into each other, we were laughing. We introduced each other, like ourselves to each other. We were having a great laugh, and then she dropped her axe. And yes, it was the Orioles. Yes, it was competitive, but it was the last day. She dropped her axe, and I stepped back to let her pick it up, which in Boo Hurt you don't do. You just keep going and put them on the floor. But I was enjoying that fight, and we were having a good laugh. So I stepped back. At which point Ryan appeared out to my side and went, "Why aren't you hitting her?" I'm like, "She dropped her axe. I'm letting her get it." "Why? Go on the floor now and put me in it was brilliant. But like, you know, as I'd finished fighting Guinness, I turned around and I saw somebody pointing, and there was this massive, I don't know who it was, but it was one of the really big American halberdiers running across the list, and I just went, nah. It's like, there was no point me getting involved in that fight because he was running towards Liam.
Yeah.
Not Liam.
Not Liam.
He was
You
running.
were in
I was in Liam's arm.
If
He
he
was
was running towards Liam,
Oh, he was running at me.
No problem.
Sorry, he was running towards James and Ryan, who are both big guys, and were expecting him to come in. And then I saw Sven stood next to them, and I went, "You know what? They got this." I ran across the rest of the other side to help out one of the South Africans. And, you know, it was something different, and you certainly get a sense of combat awareness. But having the audience there, and especially look at the China fight, like the sense of just like, oh my god!
China Luxembourg was my favourite fight in the whole.
Spinning back fist. Or spinning back elbow, actually, wasn't it? Yeah. Spinning back elbow followed through with a falchion from a Chinese fighter, because they're all MMA fighters. They're amazing. They're a really young team as well. They're like 18, 19. Their first year, and they definitely firm favourites with the crowd.
Yeah,
they were amazing.
absolutely.
And I think, you know, going forward, they're going to be really scary as a team.
I think they're just going to get better.
They're going to be
they
really
are.
scary.
They're definitely
they're so
to watch in
focused.
future.
Yeah.
So enthusiastic.
They're amazing. They're great fun. And they're really nice guys as well. They came around all the camps afterwards and introduced themselves to all the captains and said thank you for having us. You know, they were awesome. No legs are French.
Oh, are we on this again?
No, it's alright. I don't know if Alex is going to catch this video, but he's Marseille.
Okay.
So it's the old alliance, isn't it? We're meant to be nice to the French.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're meant to be nice to everyone, but yeah, the Chinese team.
Yeah. That's exactly the fight.
Oh,
that's exactly the fight we're talking about. When he's up against him, the Chinese captain, and Laurent and another guy.
Yeah.
And I'll say no more. You have to see the fight. It was brilliant. You have to go and find it. We've got it on our live stream.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think we have.
We do.
Do we?
Yeah,
But
we do.
It's at the other end of the list. So what I can recommend actually is jump onto the Chinese team, Shanghai Martial Arts, Shanghai Medieval Martial Arts, or something like that.
Yeah.
And find it there, because they've got a really good video of it right up close on the list.
Yeah, we've got one from one side of the list, and IMCF actually have it from the other side of the list.
He was an amazing fighter. He was an amazing gentleman.
Yeah. They were a really lovely team, actually.
They were a wicked team.
Yeah.
I love China. But, so, yeah, like I say, I know we've sort of been gushing about the world champs, but...
It was
so
much fun.
Isn't there another world championship of some description happening at the minute?
No idea.
I don't think so.
Not a clue.
Not a good one.
Not important, anyway.
No.
Well, I'm pretty sure I saw one of their, what they call it, it's not fights, it's like games or matches.
Oh, is it a thing with a pig's bladder?
Yeah, there's like 15 of them on each side, or 11, I don't know. They run around and chase a pig's skin. In the last, like, 25 seconds of the game, I don't know, he was from URG or something like that. It said Erg on the corner, Erg and idiot. So I don't know who was playing, but this guy got bumped into by one of the other players.
Yeah.
One of the other footers, I don't know what they call them. And he was pushed to the floor rather gently, and he rolled over a couple of times, and as he fell, he grabbed the back of his leg and screamed in pain. As he came to rest, he was holding his ankle and screaming in pain, and as he stood up, he was limping on the other leg.
I've heard of this game.
So,
Yes, I've heard about
I
this.
don't really understand
no
it.
armor don't get hurt at all,
Yeah,
but
and
have
it's
to
like-
act like they do.
And
they
it's
get
like
paid
90
more than
minutes of
actors.
pretending you're
Yes.
hurt.
They get paid more than
Yeah,
actors
yeah,
do.
it's something like that.
It's-
But apparently that's
yeah.
happening now, if that's your thing.
Right, okay.
But if you want to see a sport that England stay in beyond the first 2 rounds,
Dramatic violence! That's exactly what it is!
Except
It's,
it's just not real dramatic
No,
violence,
it's
is
not
it
really
really?
good.
oh, is that what it is? The Football World Cup.
Football.
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 Putting the ball. Footballer.
Football.
Football? I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, if that happened in this country, the hype behind it would be really. I mean, look at all the dicks with the flags on the cars and stuff. Great, yeah, celebrate it. If that's your sport and it's your mass thing, it's absolutely amazing.
Yes, James, you can.
But I think, you know, if you're supporting a team like that, it's wicked. It's so good. But with IMCF and Battle of Nations to some extent, I know Scotland don't fight in Battle of Nations yet, but we are hoping we're we're trying to get back into HMBIA. We can say that. We want to go and fight at Bolton. I don't want to fight at Bolton. It looks stupid.
It looks painful.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous. I don't want to fight the Russians. I like having both my legs working.
Valid.
Right? But honestly, I think the fact that they are, to me anyway, as a fan of the sport, and now as I guess I can almost class myself as a fighter, it was huge to have the World Championships in our country and have all of these fighters come across and to be on support and to meet them and to work with them.
Yeah.
And to meet these amazing people from pretty much everywhere but South Africa. No, they were amazing, and just to see athletes on that level, and make no mistake, it is a professional sport. They are athletes.
Yeah, they are.
They are fighters and athletes, and every single man, jack, and woman in there are terrifyingly good. Hell no!
Yes! Yay!
Actually, yeah, I'd love to. I really would. I'd love to if we can next year. I'd love to. But I don't think we're allowed to because we'll end up in the same team if it's Old World, New World. Because that's what happened this year.
We'll make an exception. It'll be fine. It'll be good.
You know, I genuinely think we'll end up being on the same team in the OVO, but we can always do what Sven and Laurent did, if you want, and
just
sort of turncoat and just have a fight.
Yeah.
It looks fun.
Yeah.
And and honestly, that's the thing. I sort of agree with Krista. Actually, to a point on this one, I don't see why the girls can't fight with the guys because I've seen some of the girls fight now, and stop fighting some of the girls. What's her name? The Quebecian. I forgot her name. With the wolf tail. Yes. The Quebecois, the Quebecian. Yeah. With the wolf tail, the last one. I don't have a name. I don't have a name. I can't remember her name.
Have a name for her?
But she was an amazing fighter. Look at Sky. I know one of the girls who I met, who I've admired as a fighter for many years, Sky Burney from Team Australia. Like, wow, what an amazing fighter, and what a lovely girl as well. She's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Would I fight Sky? Hell no. She's fought WMFC in the ladies' championship. Would I fight Sky? No, of course I wouldn't, because she would kick the shit out of me. But I don't understand why we have the separation. It might be weight class and stuff, but some of the girls are a bit bigger than me.
Most
not
girls
in
are
a
bigger
nice way,
than
they're
you.
definitely bigger than me.
It's
You
not
know,
difficult.
I don't see why we can't
My
have...
tits weigh the same as you do.
Valid point. The all, it's everyone in there, and it's girls and guys, and it's a great fight. In the team fights, if...
You'll notice it's not like the lasses are the first ones down either.
No, exactly. I'm going to get in a lot of trouble probably for saying this, but given that it's like the suffragettes memorial and everything, and remembering all of that.
Lara from Ireland as well.
Oh, Sparky's
brilliant.
Incredible fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. Yeah. No, I do want to duel Sparky. Actually, I really do, because I think I would learn a huge amount. I'd lose.
Yeah.
Hell, I'd lose. She's like gold medalist last year and silver this year. Oh, that's it. I can tell you who won female longsword. Quebec.
Was it not Ireland?
And then Ireland got second.
Was
I think.
it?
Oh no, wait. It was
Ireland won.
Quebec third, Ireland first, and what's her name?
Sorry.
What's her name?
No.
What's her name from Finland? Sigrid.
Yes.
Came in. I can't. Yeah, Lara first, Siggy second, and I'm sure the Quebecian fighter. So yeah, Lara's amazing.
Yeah.
And she's lovely as well. Again, she's a lovely,
Yeah.
lovely lass. I would pay very good money to see Lara, like to see Sparky fight. What's her name from Bowden? The Russian fighter, the amazing Russian fighter.
That would be a fight and a half.
That I've met and talked to. What the hell's her name? Galina.
Galina.
Yeah, I would love to see those two fight.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing. Like, I don't get excited about sports. I don't. I like my rugby. Anything where there's a good chance of a concussion, I get quite excited about.
Any of the Red Bull events you watch, like
that's different, though, but that's individual. Like, for team sports, I don't get behind a team at all. Again, Red Bull, anything with a chance of a concussion, I think. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, but I don't get team sports. At all. I really don't. I mean, the World Cup for rugby and the Six Nations and stuff like that, because obviously Scotland. Yeah. I know we go out really early. But I don't find myself getting excited about individual sports personalities in the way of like a football
Six
team.
Nations almost sparked a divorce in this
But
house.
I will. Like WMFC, I am looking forward to the next round of WMFC. The absolutely insane World Medieval Fight Championships. Because it looks brutal. I really want to give it a try, but I would die at the minute. I'm not ready for that in any way, shape, or form. But I'm starting to look at the fight cards and actually starting to look at the fighters and go, oh yeah, I think this could be really good.
Yeah.
In a way that I've never done with UFC. Although I do, again, enjoy watching a bit of UFC. But UFC, yeah, it's pretty brutal, but then you give them swords and armour and you get WMFC, and that's amazing. It's bizarre as an experience for me to look at a sport. And it is, like you keep saying, it is a sport.
Yeah.
But to look at it and actually get excited about the prospect of which team's going to win, which team's going to bring which fighters, who's doing well, who's a strong fighter, what the tactics, because people say there's no tactics in HMB.
I would beg to disagree.
There's a load of tactics in HMB. Yeah. Be the team that aren't fighting Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but again, I love watching the high-level fights, and I got to see most actually of the 1v1s because I was left side for them.
Yeah.
And watching them was just incredible. Seeing these guys fight at the level they fight at, and watching the girls' fights were ridiculous because some of them are brutally fast.
Yes.
You know, and
yeah, they were. Some of the men's are quite quick.
Yeah.
But the women's fights was
God,
fast.
savage, and the speed.
It is a very good point actually that
you know?
Neil's just raised. When you see the American team in the 10s, they do exceptionally well. None of their fighters do particularly outstanding in the 1v1s, so it's not as if it's an individual fighter strength. It has to be down to tactics to have that difference.
It's down to being absolutely massive and blinding your enemies.
Yeah,
because Onyan's armour is so shiny. No,
yeah.
There really is, and they have a big team. America field a very big team every year, which allows them to have the full tack of substitutions. But they are very clever with how they deal with it. Whereas I think I can say this, I'll probably get grief off the new secretary, is he? Team Scotland's tactics for the 10s. The first fight was just kind of, everybody looked and went, wing it. Because they hadn't experienced it, because they hadn't fought in the 10s before, so they had to go out in round one and basically go, let's do what we do in the 5s,
and see how it goes.
but with 5 more people and see if it works.
And I think
straight line and straight down the middle, and for some reason we put Ewan on the right hand side, which was on reflection a really stupid idea.
But what and I think I remember us talking about this in the videos, was that you could see them that they learned with every fight.
Yeah,
so you
definitely.
Could see, it was really interesting to watch the progression of the team.
You can watch it from a punter's point of view and just see a line of people crashing together in the middle and things going off. When you start to actually analyse it and look at it, I mean, I noticed it in the mass fights, in the alls. We were having team talks beforehand with people breaking down, right, you guys go on that side to take this first, you guys go there, you go straight down the middle, kick him in the head and see what you can do. And you have to play it. It's like rugby. You have to play a tactic that stops the opponents breaking through your line, getting behind you, because as soon as they get a runner behind you, you're absolutely screwed. And they weren't big lists.
No.
So for the 10s, it was very technical. For the 16s, there was just enough room to stand 16 shoulder to shoulder across that list, really.
Yep.
The 5s, that was an interesting list. And the 3s, that was a really interesting list for the space and the sizing. But you can watch it and you can go, yeah, there's tactics.
Oh yeah,
definitely. And America are wicked at it. I mean,
good,
go and watch Bolton and the 21s. Watch how Russia do it.
Oh yeah,
Because it's a steamroller, but they've got so many fighters. I think somebody said Russia have got like 3,500, 4,000 fighters to choose from for their national team.
America's
got
five.
Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure, but I think when I was talking to Jay Brooks, he said there were about 500 members in the ACL. To field a team, and they brought about 80 fighters this year.
60 something plus support.
But they said something about like 500 people that they can, 500 plus people in the ACL that they can pick from to have a national team from.
Yeah.
Which means if they're taking imagine they're taking just a 16s team.
Yeah.
64. Well, I'm not getting. Imagine they're bringing just a 16s team, nothing else. For the 16s team, you need 20 because you need your subs. They can technically field the 16 best fighters in that discipline in their country. Whereas some of the smaller countries, Scotland being one of them, Scotland, Thailand being a prime example, Thailand couldn't fight in any of the group fights because there was only one of them.
Portugal.
And they weren't allowed to team up. I mean, they don't do like HMBIA Red.
You can't do
there's no moat fighting. So it was a bit difficult. But like looking at with Scotland, our 10s team included our longsword fighter, our sword and shield fighter, our polearm fighter, our entire 5s team, and some bloke we met outside Scoon Palace that said he'd stab somebody, so we put him in arm. Oh no, that was Ralph. It's fine.
That was you.
But yeah, it was. We didn't have an option to pick a team necessarily for the 10s. They did have team selection this year, and we did choose people to go and fight. But when you look at that,
anyone who had
anyone with armour, get the lists. We couldn't field a 16s team. I tried to borrow armour and asked if I can get armour, can I come in on the 16s team on the day? And basically, captain's meeting went, if your support can get the kit and you've still got enough people on the sidelines, let's do it. We couldn't get enough armour together. So we couldn't field a 16s team. Whereas America are picking from over 500. Russia, for the Bolton team, are picking from over 3,000 people. You know, to fill the 21s team, which is why when you see HMB and you look at like Bolton, there's Russia 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because they can bring so many people. You know, it's
Scotland's 5s team were very.
They were so good.
And
it's
the same with the women's teams as well.
Amazing fight. Amazing
it's
fight.
the same with the women's 3s.
So proud of our 5s boys. They did them absolutely blind.
Because I think there were
so proud of all of them actually.
I think there were a lot of teams who had the women's 3s in. Where the women in the 3s were actually
the entirety of their female
team. So there was everyone that had fought in the singles was in the 3s.
It's a problem for smaller countries, but like when you look at the really big countries, they are picking the best people for the best fights. As like we
you know what? It's fair
we
enough.
Pick the best team for the fights.
The team.
Definitely. Don't bring crap people if you've got the option to bring really good fighters. Germany have a massive contingent. Ukraine have a massive contingent. You know,
plus Ukraine's
got it as a national sport
section
now
as well. So they've got people. They're training kids from a young age. I mean, by the time they get to our age,
UK Fed. What have we got? We've got UK Federation in the UK. We've got UK Fed for Battle of the Nations, Battle Heritage for IMCF and Bolton. White Company, which is now a separate entity that do Bolton, and HMBIA and WMC, and SKL that currently only do IMCF. But across those 4, Oh yeah, and then there's Wales as well. There's
Yeah.
the Dragons,
Yeah.
and there's Irish team as well. So if you look at that as the Six Nations,
Yeah.
or the six teams across the nations, we could probably realistically be looking at about 350, 400 people.
Yeah.
But because we're all split into different countries, how did I forget Cygnus? Trouble's
Yes.
going to kill me. Yeah, sorry, Cygnus as well. Yeah, and they're getting really, really good.
Yeah, watching
Like,
their videos on
I watch Trouble's videos and like that for training, and just go, I don't even know why I'm bothering. Like, and she'll have a little. I want that calendar of the year. There's a one today, and she's like, just doing a few reps. This little Cygnet wants some wings, and she is stacked. I'm like, no, I don't want to fight her. She looks terrifying.
But
yeah, I want that calendar. If you haven't seen it, go on the website. Have a look. It's brilliant.
But yeah, IMCF was
I think,
incredible.
yeah, I'd love to
Kiev's gonna be
see.
amazing
I'd love to
next
see
year.
all the
It's gonna
teams
be
come
great,
together
yeah.
and just sort everything out, so we can field an amazing team across wherever we go in any
Yeah.
sport. But yeah, to have the World Championships on our doorstep.
It was brilliant.
The opening ceremony was beautiful. It was lovely, but
Yeah.
I had this real moment of national pride at the closing ceremony, walking with the guys and getting the cheers and the well done and the thank you Scotland and everything, and it was like, I've never felt that before.
Yeah.
Never, not that kind of
Yeah.
sense of
Yeah.
I was ready to run back over the border, take over Berwick, storm down into Newcastle, and blow up Westminster. Sadly, funds didn't allow it.
But
It was. I told you. James is a massive crayon eater, but he'll be good at it. No, I think it's something we can, especially even if you're not into the fighting, if you're a HEMA fighter or you're a stage combatant or anything, you can get excited about it because it's people hitting each other with swords. And just between us,
it's a lot of fun.
the national teams for like Wales, England, Scotland, Ireland are all really, really good at it.
Yeah, it is actually sport we're pretty good at.
Like climbing as well, nationally on biking and stuff like that. You can actually get behind
bikes, swords. That's
British
what we do.
British snowboarding, not much. We're fairly good at obesity records and levels as well. But no, it's something I think everyone can. Everyone can
put them
get
in armour.
behind
They
it.
turn into cannonballs.
I think everyone can get behind it, and if you haven't watched it yet, and you go, what on earth is this HMB stuff? Jump over to the IMCF's YouTube channel, or click onto our ones of IMCF and have a look and just see what it is, because it's absolutely mad.
We've got a load of videos from this year's IMCF. We have below somewhere.
There'll be a playlist at the end.
If you want to listen to completely non-expert commentary while you
come and join us, watch us.
If you want to listen to completely non-expert commentary, jump over to the IMCF.
Oh, you are so much trouble.
I loved that commentary setup. I'd forgotten the lad's
really
name was down at the left side.
Yeah.
But he'd never seen this before, so when the guys were going in, he's literally trying not to swear on live. It was amazing. And then they had sort of roving reporters. They had different people up in the commentary box. They had Ben in for a bit. They had Chris Capaldi in for a bit as an ex-rugby player to look. And it's I think it was a really good format because I've watched tournaments in the past and been very bored in between the fighting. Battle of the Nations commentary this year was great actually. Callum, ex-White Company fighter, or current White Company, I don't know, he's not fighting at the minute but he's back training, so he might be about to start fighting again. But Callum did a lot of the commentary, and then some genius opened up requests on the live stream to get people in, and somebody requested Billing. Boo Hurt Banana Bill on live commentary is the best thing I have ever heard in HMB ever. It was great. He managed to swear like 4 times and not get told off for it. It was great.
Head of security is interested in joining up.
Oh, amazing! Ash was great.
Yeah.
I think it was. There you go. Jake watched the commentary from home, and he said it was really good. I think it's something
Thanks,
that,
Jake.
if not your one, I think
Fine.
Should have been watching.
Should have been our one.
Yeah, shame about the connection on the IMCF live one. Actually,
On day one. It was only day one.
yeah,
I think
they
had
had
a few
issues, but day one Battle of the Nations was terrible as well.
Yeah.
It happens. This has gone very dark in the comments.
Really
You guys
has.
don't need to know what's going on
No,
in
you
the comments.
don't.
You can't see them, don't read them.
It's fine.
But yeah, I think, the way that the sport is developing and making it more entertaining and more approachable, and having somebody on the ground that genuinely didn't have a clue about the sport, asking sentient questions for people that don't understand,
I think
going, so why is he doing this, why is he doing that,
actually.
but not in an Ainsley Harriott looking over the shoulder on Ready Steady Cook, why are you doing that sort of way. It wasn't patronising, it was genuinely wanting to know.
Do you know, it worked enough because it meant that he asked questions like, is that allowed? And when he got the response of whether it was or not,
Dave's
when
like,
something
I don't know,
happened,
maybe.
when something then happened, because we were actually in the stands at this point, and something happened, and there was a shout went up, that's illegal, stop him, wasn't there at one point during one of the fights? And people got mad when they were spotting things.
There was a
they'd
lovely
been told
shout
about.
at one point for Galen on, and all you heard from the end of the list was this very small, very angry list builder screaming, hooking as loud as he could, but with a very broad Scottish accent. So it sounded very different. But he was yelling and screaming, and I couldn't see the guy hooking the lists at the other end. I mean, he's not. I see what the problem is. And they were pushing right on the one gate that we were about to go out and repair. So the entire list building team were basically like, Marshals, get him up there! But because we were down by the end of the stand, it spread down the side, and eventually the Marshals literally broke them off the list and moved them, and then we went down and fixed the gate, and it was all good,
But yes,
I think it's a really good way of doing it. The big TV screen was a brilliant idea.
That
the
was
audience
really
see
good.
I think Scotland did themselves
They
brilliant.
really did.
In
in
and
all
out of the
respects,
list.
in
and
all
out of the list. Because I'll tell you what, the boys in the fights.
Considering they're not one of the bigger teams to run it as a whole nation and put on the
if
show
you
they
watch
did.
our live stream back, the
Very
occasional points that I pop up on the commentary team, because I was screaming my one remaining off at every fight, because
the only times when you were there, we were quiet because you were there and couldn't speak. We were screaming out.
I was so like behind
we
the
have
team,
apologised in
and
the commentary for that.
I had to drive back down to Chatham on the Friday night to sort out tiny cats, like this big, and I drove down and then had to get back up the next morning because I was on support with Ewan for his Sword and Shield rounds. It took me nearly 6 hours to drive back up from here, and the whole time I was raging because I just wanted to be there to support the team and to do my, and it was weird. I really felt sort of part of the team and behind the guys, and like when they won the second round in the fives against Sweden. No, Finland. Finland, Sweden. Was it Sweden? No, it was Sweden. It was Team Sweden. When we lost first round, won second round, came back, won third round, and smashed into the floor. That was unbelievable. There's a photo of me and Ralph stood at the back end of the list. Like literally, they're two photos a split second apart that Lucas managed to get. And one is us both like, yeah! And the next one, we're both smashed into each other. He's wearing full armour, and I've headbutted into his pauldron. So excited about it, and I damn nearly knocked myself out. It was like, it was.
He got some brilliant shots though,
really
didn't
did.
he? Got some
the thing is, the whole event was just incredible.
Really,
and again, like I say, yes, it sounds like maybe we're getting a bit overexcited on it, but it was a world championships in a sport that I love.
In our home country.
In our country, and,
but it has been an hour and a half.
It has.
Over.
Oh wow!
So we should probably disappear and let you people get on with your lives.
I mean, the main idea is to make this a 2-hour download on when the podcast goes live. We've got the editing software. I'm literally trying to upgrade the system at the minute so that I can make it happen.
So thank you for joining us, and it's been great having so many people on.
Actually, it's been lovely. It's been lovely having the
to have
interaction.
the
Now, going forward in the future for the questions section, we'll always put that up on the page. Always. That will always happen. But if you want a specific discussion point, because we're going to be trying to streamline these a bit more. I know, right? We're going to try and streamline these.
If you want one of our key discussion points, like today we've talked about IMCF, we've talked about our filming project.
And it will be about a 15-minute to half-hour discussion on your talking point.
Just timings.
Yeah.
Just if you leave us the request on Patreon. So if you are one of our patrons.
Yeah.
Even like at the bottom end, like the dollar patron. If
anyone.
You join on Patreon, anyone that is supporting us on Patreon will be able to ask us a question. We'll post notification of the podcast going live a couple of weeks ahead.
Yeah.
You will then ask us a question and we will go away and research it. And if possible, if it relates to something very specific, like say where Jake's question was with HEMA, if possible, we'll get a HEMA
We'll see if we can get some.
We'll get some guests on.
You know, I'll get Mark Lancaster on as a guest from the Exiles, Sheffield. He's Fiore Master. So in the questions of that would have been brilliant. We might have to do that by a remote link because he's currently down like Sheffield or something. Or
James is currently sat somewhere swearing now, like why?
Or we'll grab.
Why do I have to try and?
Or we'll grab Bob,
Bob
Brooks from the Hotspur School of Defence because he's a HEMA master as well. And you know, if there's something like that you have a real burning desire to have expanded upon your thinking and see if we can open it up to other people and answer your question, we will be doing that for our patrons.
And it's not just about weaponry and fighting either. You know.
Historical things we can find lectures on it. And if anything like that, if you are on our Patreon and you are supporting what the company do, and that doesn't just go to the three of us, that goes down through the entire company. We don't.
And the junior members now.
We have
our Arts Awards members. So you know that supports absolutely everything that we do as a company. Not pays us. We don't
get paid.
We get paid from the shows that we do. That's how it works. That's how it will always, and that's how we want to run the company because the guys are working, we're working. Anyway, if you're supporting us on Patreon and you want a specific research piece posted at the $1 Patreon level, you can do that. If there is a very specific thing you would like a set video on, request it, and we can do it.
Talk to us.
Because part of what we do is historical education and things like that, and we find out loads of interesting stuff just by doing the research anyway. So
we find that interesting.
If you think that's something you'd like to do, jump over to our Patreon page. I'll put a link below and support us on there. And anything you can do to support us on there will be absolutely fantastic. Keep watching the videos. You know,
look out for the t-shirts.
Follow us on
We're going to
Facebook.
get that t-shirt done, right, God?
Guys, if you've watched this and you've thought this is absolute,
you're probably right.
You're probably right. You like the rest of the content. So click like and subscribe, and remember to hit that bell icon so you get notifications every time we upload a video. Follow us on Facebook. Share the events. Come and see us live if you can. And if you've looked at anything on this and you've thought, I can't remember what they said about whichever club, drop us a message on Facebook. We check them daily, and we will always respond to you.
So we're gonna go now.
We are.
I might have some more beer.
I'm gonna have some more beer.
That sounds like a good idea.
And surprise, Bluehead!